Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. We're going under the cover of fragrance influencers and collectors today. 10 questions to 4 different individuals. We've got Chad from Gentleman's Journey, Chad from Chad's Secrets, Rush from A Gentleman's Journey, and I'll be doing them too. Let's get to it.
Okay, the way that Chad and I do it, well, we're up at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, which is not the best time for me. I'm not a morning person. But I don't think people realize just how much effort is put into it. And I'm proud of the fact that we here in Toronto are very friendly with each other. We don't cause drama with each other. We're actually all in the same room together having a great time.
This YouTube content journey, when you want to scale it at a very high level, you have to be very meticulous. You have to be almost OCD levels of meticulous. It's not as easy as just setting up a video and pressing record. It's very planned, and it takes up a lot of time. If you really want to scale this, this has to be your thing. You have to put all you possibly can into it.
It's the algorithms. And I also do content that I want. I don't really do content that is trendy for the most part. I will do some content that my audience watches, but for the most part, the audience that watch me, they are just there because we have the same tastes. We're not about the hype trains, the sales pitches.
It took me 13 months before I got my first 100 subscribers. That's an awful lot of work to make videos that are watched by 10 or 12 people.
I think that the most overhyped fragrance right now is Louis Vuitton Imagination. I think that a lot of the Louis Vuitton freshies are overhyped. Underhyped, there's one called Theodoros Kalatinis. He's based out of Greece. He creates a fragrance called Tobacco Maniac. Gives you this like sophisticated vibe, but when it dries down, you get this leafy side of the tobacco that's cleanly, and this honey peeks through, and there's this earthy patchouli that I love.
Overrated is anything that is cloned and anything that the influencers are pitching. What is underrated? Well, Stu and I, we did one. It's an Hermes Basilic Poupre. Anything that influencers hype, yeah, no thanks.
Easily, it's Dior Parfum. And a host of fragrances, things like Prada Paradigm, Amber Woody DNA, and it's everywhere. For me, it's Lorenzo Villarese's Musk. It's an Italian niche house from Florence. Reasonably priced niche house.
Most years off fragrances, I think, are underhyped. I could say the same thing for Montel and Mancera. They're all 3 of them do some great fragrances, yet they don't get talked about as much as, say, the designer fragrances. Overhyped is easy, Aventus.
Maybe bringing people together. I've met over 60 content creators. I've met Jeremy Fragrance, I have met Red Adolescence, I've met Curly Sense, Andrea. I just like working with people, whether it's a big name influencer or someone who only has like 100 subscribers.
It's got to be perseverance and just passion for this. When it takes 13 months to get 100 subscribers and you've done 80 videos that take many, many hours of work and nobody's watching, yeah, you need to be a bit crazy in order to do that.
Oh, personality. I got personality.
Okay, perfect.
My thing with my YouTube channel is I cut the fluff. I want to get as straight to the point as possible without wasting the viewer's time. I think a lot of people enjoy that. So my reviews are 5 to 6 minutes long. I don't have a 15-minute review talking about one fragrance because I respect the viewer's time. I'm sorry, other people do that and I'm not here to judge, but that's how I think that people come to my channel, and I'm just repeating what they say in the comments. They like the humor, they like that I get to the point, and they like that I'm entertaining.
For me, it would be Gucci Pour Homme 2 or Pure Malt by Thierry Mugler, but I think for the general population, it would be Pure Havane by Thierry Mugler because that's a gourmand. That is a classic fragrance, and a lot more people seem to like it.
It would probably be Prada Luna Rosa Extreme.
I'm gonna have to say, in total, 1 Million Privé, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's very classy. I love that fragrance. It needs to come back.
It would have to be Canali Black Diamond. Canali is an Italian menswear, and they only do men's products. There's nothing, they don't cater to the ladies whatsoever. Black Diamond has like leather, citrus, like I think it was released in 05 or like the early 2000s, and it just has like a ton of notes. But for me, it was like the leather. Oh, and I would also say Canali Summer Night.
Okay, my favorite house would probably be Dior. I'd say Dior and Tom Ford if we're talking about designer. If we're talking about niche, it would probably be Sherzhoff and Montel. Designer, easy. Dolce & Gabbana. I think they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't last. I mean, 3 hours later, it's not pushing off of you.
My current favorite house is Hugo Boss. The reason being is because I think over every other designer right now, they're actually trying to push boundaries. They're not just like release mass appealing fragrance, copy this mass appealing fragrance, rinse and repeat. They're actually trying to release things that are unique, and I want a unique experience, especially as someone that has such a big collection. Least favorite house, I'm literally gonna have to say Louis Vuitton. I only have one fragrance, I think, out about 30 fragrances in their house that I think are actually worth it. I love Ombre Nomad. I think that's at least a 9 out of 10. It's a oud rose fragrance, and I actually really like it. However, I have not been impressed with most of the releases.
Right now, it is Hermes. So it's just where I'm at in life. This has been a year of growth and self-discovery, from a condo to a house. I was always I was like a Ferragamo guy, the Ferrari guy, the Zegna guy. I was the Bond number 9, as Rush will say, I was the Bond bitch for a long time. But right now, it is definitely Hermes. Paco Rabanne. Never was a fan of the brand. I find that brand never gravitated to me. I love Paco Rabanne when it first came out, then I'm like, too heavy for me. And I do like one of their fragrances, that's the Paco Rabanne Privé and the Lucky, but that's pretty much it.
My favorite house is Prada. It has been for a while now. It's got a soapy clean aesthetic. That's my aesthetic. I really like it. I tried the new Paradigm. It's kind of clean, but a little bit too similar to what's going on these days. I prefer Daniela Andrea's version of Prada, but it's definitely Prada. My least favorite house is Chanel, because the last time they released a men's line 15 years ago, I had a full head of hair.
My first video I ever did was a video on Nautica Voyage. The EDT, Nautica Voyage, the original, the hype beast. And the reason I did that is because at the time, I was kind of going through my own journey with fragrances before I started this YouTube channel. And I never knew about FragCom. I never knew about the fragrance community at all until pretty much a year before I started my channel. And when I kind of found out about Nautica Voyage was scrolling through TikTok, and I started seeing Jeremy Fragrance, the power, the craft, but he would always talk about Nautica Voyage. And because of that, and I engaged with these videos, now Nautica Voyage is all over my timeline. So I'm like, knowing YouTube, and I know how YouTube works in social media, I always think that there's some ulterior motive whenever I see a product too much. You can think the same with camera reviews, right? I want a camera. I watch a Sony ZV-E10 Mark II review. Most of the time, Sony has a hand in the pot. Most of the time, someone's being paid for this review. I wanted to document my journey. Are these fragrances worth the hype or not? Nautica Voyage was the most hyped fragrance at the time. So I bought Nautica Voyage, I documented my journey with it, and I found out I liked it. Now, how do I feel going back to that video? I was shy, I was nervous, I was scared, because I'm sitting in front of a camera, vulnerable, talking about a hobby I didn't even know people were into on YouTube. And I just reviewed a fragrance. Now I go back to that and I'm like, what is this guy talking about? So shy, but at the same time, I love going back to that video because it shows my true vulnerability as a content creator.
I'm not sure if it's Michael Kors for him, for men, but it was like a Michael Kors, and I think it's Canali Black Diamond. It might be something else. It's been a long time, and how do I feel about them now? Any content creator, whether it's someone who just started 2 years ago and has just kind of exploded, or someone like me who's seasoned, they don't like their earlier stuff. You eventually find your rhythm, your groove, your sense of self in some sort of way when you're on camera. You just become a lot more comfortable.
My first video was Antonio Banderas Antonio, and I'd planned for about a week to do another fragrance, but I bought it that day and it blew me away so much. I still love the fragrance. I think it's great. And I was so excited about it. I went home and I did the video. My presentation was not bad, but everything else about the video was atrocious. Atrocious. The sound was awful. The background was awful. And I didn't know much about fragrances back then, so everything was awful. But my enthusiasm was there.
It was niche fragrances, a whole collection of niche fragrances. From everything from zoologists to, well, you name it. Well, I think we did a pretty good job. I enjoyed it. If I had to go back, I'd probably change my opinion about one or two of the fragrances.
It was best artistic fragrances.
Ah, see, he remembers.
Whatever I've had my entire life, work-wise, has always been like I'm a workaholic, I'm a grinder, and it kind of feels like this as well, because I've been doing this for a long time, and at times it kind of like, oh, I don't want to do the video, but I just do it, and like sometimes like the energy is like, hi guys, how you doing? So today's video, you know, and it's just like I have to fake the energy, and then like when I do that, I'm like, okay, it's coming naturally, and like, so it doesn't feel as forced. So sometimes I put myself in the mood where I want to film content.
This one's easy. If I have 3 or 4 bad videos in a row, you start to think, okay, this is the end, because we're no longer in peak YouTube. That was 2020, at least in terms of fragrance YouTube. And I'm starting to think, okay, well, how many views am I going to get? And so when you have a really bad stretch, you've got to reevaluate, what am I doing wrong? What can I do to make the videos better? Although in some ways that's helped me improve. But yeah, that's a really bad time. You start to question everything. If you have 1 or 2, it's not the end of the world, but you have 3 or 4 bad videos in a row. When I say bad, I mean a lot less views than you had previously. You really worry.
Drama. We go back to drama. Right. There are creators out there who thrive on causing drama with other creators, and I've always found that to be just needless. I'm at Word One community. We are 99.9% of the people out there don't even know we exist. Why cause drama?
Pretty much, I've kind of gotten this down to allocating things out that I don't like. So for example, I didn't like editing my own YouTube videos. I didn't like editing my own thumbnails, because if I'm going to be the face of my channel, I don't want to become a better editor or a thumbnail or a graphic designer than an actual content creator. So I would find myself editing for about 6 to 8 hours per video. The video I was creating, I would only be filming for half an hour. So if you took the time I was doing each thing at the end of the year, I'm going to become a way better editor and a graphic designer than I will be a creator. So as the face of my own channel, I need to make sure I'm the best at creating, and that's why I hired out to do things. So I have my own editors, I have my own thumbnail designers. I have a team to do the things that I don't like to do, because I want to be the best content creator, not the best editor or thumbnail designer.
This is going to sound weird, but coming up with creative ideas, like a good creative title, or getting a thumbnail that I look at and I go, wow, that is a really good thumbnail. I dare them not to click on that. When you do something like that there's no better feeling. And the idea that was going to be the case just floors me. I mean, I would have thought, having a video that goes crazy viral would be no, because my second biggest video of all time, I thought it was garbage. So you don't know about that. You don't control that. But when you create something different, a really sharp title or something that's going to generate interest, and you know it, that feels awesome.
I'm a showboat. I've always been a showboat. I spent 25 years working on stage in both the USA and Canada. And while I do not miss my previous profession, I do enjoy being a showboat.
I prefer doing it with friends, whether it's with Chad Secrets or with Rush. I get to bounce the energy off of them, and it makes it a lot more funner and more entertaining. Yeah, like I prefer being with people than just myself, because sometimes I have to force it, and sometimes I feel like it just doesn't come out naturally. Sometimes it does, as I said with the other question, but
I've been creating content since about 2008 on YouTube. So I've had many different channels. I started off at the time Jackass was popular, so we were doing kind of a Jackass thing. I'd go down the hill in a shopping cart. I'd put mouse traps on my fingers, these things, because Jackass was popping. And then I started doing a parkour and free running channel. I did a weightlifting YouTube channel, and then I progressed into a fitness kind of style, and then it went to pranks, and now this. So what do I love about YouTube? Everything. I've been doing YouTube since it started almost. I think it started in 2006 or 7. But personally, right now, what I love about creating content is helping people. That's really it. That's why I started this channel. I wanted to go on a journey and document my journey and tell people if I truly believe these fragrances are good or are they not. And I wanted to document my journey of progressing in this hobby. So I love waking up and I love reading everyone's comments. I always try to respond to every single comment. And when I see that kind of engagement, it puts a fire under me. I love it. It's something I wake up to every morning and I'm excited. That's why I love YouTube content.